now. It's been this crazy wild ride. But I started, I had a journalism degree out of college, and I saw an ad for an assistant editor job at a magazine about toys, which is like the best thing ever. They write about toys and do all this cool stuff. It was called Toy Fair, and I had been reading it since I was a kid, and I applied, and I was like, yeah. Then I got a call back right before school ended, and they were like, hey, we saw you applied for this assistant editor job. I got the job. Sorry, what would you like to write for me? So I was like, sure. Any possibility to get involved would be a great start. So I moved back home with my mom, worked at Blockbuster for a year, started doing freelance, eventually got the opportunity to interview for editor jobs at Wizard magazine, which is the parent company of the toy magazine, but it was just this great place, tons of history, and really great connections. Started there. Over the course of 3 years, kicked and punched and scratched my way to getting more responsibility and a better position there at Wizard, and eventually became the liaison for Wizard magazine to Marvel Comics. So, you know that movie Civil War that we have coming next year? Well, I was in the room for the planning meetings for the comic books that are based on, that a lot of our movies are based on, before I even started at Marvel. Stuff like Winter Soldier, Civil War, Secret Invasion, things that have influenced what we do on film always come from the comics, and I was able to step into those rooms where they were breaking those stories and coming up with those ideas, which was a great way to meet people. So I got great relationships with the folks at Marvel, and one day in the summer of 2006, I'm walking around Marvel headquarters doing a standard journalist visit, where I'm wearing my heavy metal t-shirt and my camouflage shorts, super professional, and I'm walking around, and one of the vice presidents says, Brian, why don't you come over here? Come to my office, sit down, let's talk. I'm like, sure. John, this guy, John Dokes, who I've known over these last couple of years, sits me down, we just start talking. It's really casual. Eventually, he's asking me some questions that are more pointed, more interview-esque questions. And he's like, let me bring someone else in. Let me bring someone else in. And they start interviewing me. And I realized, wow, this is actually something pretty cool. And then he's like, all right, good, you're done, bye, see ya. And he tells me to leave. A couple weeks later, I get a phone call, a job offer from Marvel to come help launch the content and editorial for Marvel's digital team. And at that point, around about the same time Judy was starting, it was 2006, and there were 6 of us in Marvel Digital. If you look at that now, 9 years later, we've got to be like 70 or 80 people on both coasts, working, doing all kinds of stuff. So it's been a really interesting ride, and a lot of it was just, you know, hard work, being in the right place at the right time. So that's how we got into Marvel. And one of